Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of my new series, Road to 500 mil from Slayer. So the basis of the series is I get 500 mil GP from Slayer only. The first rule is that I'm only doing Slayer tasks. So by that I mean I'm not doing any boss tasks. For example, if I get a Black Dragons task, I'm not doing QBD, I'm not doing KBD. Same with Kelphite task, I'm not doing KK. Same with God Wars, that kind of thing. That's mainly because I want to make this a Slayer series, not really a PVM series. I will be doing those boss tasks and whatever for a different series after this one, but I just want to do straight Slayer, just straight Slayer tasks for this entire series, and it makes it harder for me too, and it makes this series a little longer, which I prefer longer series, so yeah. So a few other things about this series, I can cancel tasks. In addition, each episode I do 15 tasks, and then I go from there. That way, it's a little different every episode. Instead of doing like 10 mil GP per episode, then it's very predictable, and this way you never really know what's going to happen in those 15 tasks. I might get 15 really good tasks, I might get 15 really bad tasks. You really don't know, and that's why I like this series so far. And without further ado, let's actually go into the series. Alright, so to kick off the series, task number 1, I actually got my favorite task, and it was Gratz. And on screen I'll be showing how long the task took. In an estimate, I don't really know 100% how long a task takes, I'm just estimating. So it's not 100%, but it's pretty close to how long the task really is. So this first task was really nice. It was a good start to the series because it is my favorite task, like I said. And you really never can go wrong with an Gratz task. Like, their money is really great, their experience is great, and it's not too long of a task, and I think it's worth it. So, if I could get Gratz every single time, I would love that, but it would still take like 240 tasks of Gratz to finish the series, so that really shows how long the series will actually take. But yeah, I enjoyed that task, and I just kept on going. So for task number 2, I got Mytho Dragons, and that was quite a surprise, because I haven't gotten that task in a long time. I actually forgot you even could be assigned those. So sadly, it's not that many Mytho Dragons when you get one, so it's not the best thing ever. But, you know, it's a fast task, fast Slayer points, and, I mean, the money does kind of add up. And 32 Dragon Bones isn't too bad. You could get, like, an Gratz task or an Abbey Demons task and be way better off. So I continued with Slayer, and on my third task, I actually got 131 Celestials. That was actually my first Celestials task that I ever got. Because I didn't slay at all after the update of the Celestials. It was kind of cool to get it, but I've already done 1,000, and that's one of my more popular loot videos. So it wasn't that exciting. I mean, they are a really drawn-out task, and as you can see, it took me an hour. Probably could do it a little faster, but I think an hour is roughly how long it took. I mean, the money does add up. I think that was about 2 mil, so it isn't too horrible. The charms are good, too. The Slayer experience is crazy good, but it's just a really long task, and I don't like spending so long on a task. But either way, I enjoyed it because this is my first time having them. But yeah, nothing happened in the task, no items. So moving on. On task number 4, I returned to the Gratz, which is really nice. I love those Gratz. As I said many times before, they are my favorite tasks, so every time I see them, I get really excited. But the task went on with nothing happening. Took around 45 minutes, but I mean, that's not too bad. I made pretty good money from it. And on task number 5, I got Ganodermic Beasts, only about 72. I forgot how low the numbers are, but I mean, that's fine. They do make a good amount of money, I think 3 to 4 mil an hour, and the task only took like 20 minutes, so it was a really fun task to do. And before I forget to mention, a lot of these tasks are working on my loot videos as well, so like if I get Ganodermics, I'm counting those numbers for a Ganodermic loot video. Don't worry, I will be 100% accurate with my loot. And I'm working on like 11 different loot videos through Slayer right now, so it is great that I'm getting a lot of things done through this series. And Slayer's always fun. I mean, I haven't slayed that often before the series really, and it really gets me into Runescape, and it's really fun to stream it. So I guess that didn't really have to do anything with Ganos, but as for the task, I mean, they're good money. Of course, the experience I think is good. I'm pretty sure it's good. The drops are just great if you get magic seeds and whatnot. And I think I did get a lot on that task, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it was a fun task. Moving on, I got 249 Abbey Demons, which is one off the max amount. So that was cool. I mean, the task took an hour, and it's one of my favorite tasks. But I mean, they do take a long time. The experience is one of the best in Slayer, and the money just adds up. And it'd be nice if I got like an Abbey Wand or an Abbey Orb sometime. That'd be really cool for the series. I do have a count for that later in this episode, so yeah. And this task reminds me another thing that I have to say for this series before anyone comments or something. Can I use like Slayer masks, like if I have a Jadinko mask or an Abbey Demon mask, like for right now, could I use it to get a task? The answer is yes, but I really don't want to. I want to just get the random part of Slayer. If I get a ton of tasks in a row that really suck, I will use one of the masks, but just looking at my Slayer series so far, I don't think I will ever use a mask unless I get like a task I hate over and over and over and over that I don't really want to do. But I just want to do Slayer how it was meant to be, get random tasks, and only skip if you really need to. So I rarely skip. That's just how I want to do things for this series. So as for the next task, number 7, I did get 66 automatons, which was pretty cool. I like that task for sure. I'm just hoping for gloves or maybe an effigy. I mean, they're pretty common there. The effigies at least. I got like 3 from 3,000 kills. I guess that's not common, but I at least get them there, and the gloves are just so hard for me to get them, but you never know. I mean, the task is quick, decent money if you do get a glove, but sadly in this one I didn't. Moving on, the next task was Aberrant Spectres, or Aberrant Spectres, I don't really know how to say it, and these guys I meleeed. I should range probably, but I like melee because I like the berserk and that kind of thing. And another thing, any monster that's in the Slayer Tower I do with contract, because I really don't like the Cyrodiil's dungeon, because I really hate getting the beams for the ferocious rings. I don't even use those rings, to be honest. I wear them, but I don't really use any extra ones. But I do collect them for the series, and I'll have a count for that later. Aberrant Spectres aren't too bad because the herb drops and stuff do add up, and I mean, they're a considerable fast task. I mean, 25 minutes, I was taking it slow, but that was just an estimate. And the next task was 149 Aviancies. I think that's pretty close to the max. But I was pretty excited to do them, even though when I was doing the task, it was really, really boring, which was kind of depressing. But because I was really excited to do these tasks for this series, and because I thought like the Addy bars would add up, but they really don't. I mean, they do, but hourly they don't really do anything. So it was kind of a disappointment, but I will do those tasks. I mean, they do add up for the series, so why not? After that, I got Skeletal Wyverns, which isn't too bad either. I haven't fought those since pre-EOC, so I had to like experiment. And I did it with Mage, and I just did not use my DFS at all. So I just tank all the damage and stuff like that. I will bring more food next time for sure, because I ran out of food like 3 kills before I was done. I had to really hope that I didn't die on the last 3 kills. Luckily I didn't, so that was a relief. So the task really isn't that profitable, so it's not a fun task to do, but I am working on a loot video of them, so I will take every task I can for them, and yeah. Moving on, number 11, I did do Iron Dragons, which is always a good task because they're really fast, and the money does add up because they're so fast. Just 79 took about 20 minutes. You could probably do them in 15 if you're really hardcore, but I mean, that's how much I did, and they're really easy with Mage. Overall, I mean, they're a fun task. They're really fast, good experience. Nothing bad to say about them. So on the next task, I came back to Aviancies because I got them again. But that isn't too bad. I do count them for my loot video. And this one only took about 20 minutes as well. The Addy bars do add up, like I said earlier. And yeah. Trudging on number 13, I did get Steels, which was really nice, Steel Dragons. And it was near the max amount. It was like 97. So that's always cool. The task is pretty quick, 25 minutes. 2 things happened during this task, one being weird, and the other was a cool thing. The first thing, what happened is I died because I was AFKing and I forgot that I was attacking one, and it was on stream, so everyone saw it that was watching. That was kind of depressing, but I forgot to re-anti-fire, and I switched tabs and I was just looking at something else. I think I was reading the Twitch chat, and I didn't see that I was still killing it, and I didn't have my anti-fire, so I died when I came back, like right when I came back. I really hate when that happens, like you're AFKing or something, and then you come back, and then you die right when you get back, so it's like you could have saved yourself, but you didn't. And before you laugh at me for dying at Slayer, because obviously you shouldn't die at Slayer, I'm just bad at PVM. I like AFK too hard, or I just make a mistake or something. So yeah, I have a death counter for later in the series, so I just want to see how many deaths I do get up to, because it'll be really funny. Already on episode 1, I already have a death, so that's depressing. But overall, task is pretty cool. And the other thing I was going to say is right after I died and I got my stuff, I came back and I got a Dragon Plate Legs drop, which is kind of cool. It's one of the rarer items from Steels. I mean, it's really not that much money, but I mean, it's cool to get, and it's kind of like a payback that I got after I died. So nearing the end of this episode, I got LRC on the 14th task. And if you don't know what LRC is, it's the Living Rock Caverns, and it's the area where you fish rocktail and mine gold and stuff like that. At first, I'm like, oh, this is a cool task. I remember doing them back in the day, and they used to be one of the best Slayer XP per hour. before EOC, like 50, 60k an hour with the cannon, but it turns out that they're not that good at it anymore. Like, experience is really bad here, like really bad. The task does take considerable amount of time, like 30 minutes. I price checked the first task, and I think I got like 700k or something, so that isn't too bad, like 1.4 mil an hour, but obviously there's better tasks. Of course, I'm working on these guys for a loot video, so I mean, it's always good if I get a task. It's just, they're really annoying. If I get like a string of bad tasks, they really irk me, but I'll go through it. I mean, it's not too horrible. And to finish up this episode, because each episode, like I said, is 15 tasks, I might shorten it if it's too long, but for now, we'll just do 15 tasks. And number 15, I got Griffalaroos, and my friend Kai trolled me by saying I was going to get Griffalaroos, and I actually did, so it was kind of sad. His trim luck is OP. But either way, at first I'm like, oh, this is going to really suck. But then I realized they're a really good task. It's really fast, 15 minutes. You make considerable amount of money. I think it's like 400, 500k. So that is like 2 mil an hour for a task like that. And they're decent experience, and they're just fast. So it was a good ending to episode 1. So before I go into like the loot and whatnot, I just want to like ask you guys if you like this setup for the series where I just discuss each task. Is this the right way to do this series where I just talk over the tasks? I probably won't be doing live commentary. It would be way too hard if I stream this, and then it'd be way too hard to like make live commentary while streaming. Because I would be answering questions and stuff like that. So I don't really know another way I could do this. I think this is probably the best way. If you guys enjoy it that way, tell me. I would love to know if you guys like it this way. But this episode is really long. I've noticed that these things take a long time to talk through 15 tasks. But, I mean, it is the first episode, so it is going to be long either way. And you guys might like a long video. So, yeah, let's just go into the loot and stuff. But before I go into the loot, it's kind of like my Barrow series and my Corp series. I'm going to have a slide, or I think it's 2 slides. Yeah, 2 slides showing the loot and my stats, and I'll talk over it. And I edited it really nicely, and it looks really awesome. So enjoy. I'll meet you guys there. So first up, here are the stats for episode 1, and as you can see, there is my experience for the Slayer and all my combats, and as you can see, I meleeed most of them. And you might be thinking, why do you melee so many tasks even though range and mage are better for Slayer, because then you don't have to like run everywhere all over the place. The thing is, I'm going for 120 strength because I'm the closest to it. I'm at like 73 million strength right now, so why not just get it out of the way, and then I will range and mage more tasks. But right now I just want to get my first 120 cape other than DG, just get that over with. But as you can see, I mean, it's good experience just for 719k Slayer. You do get a considerable amount of combat experience. And it's pretty nice that episode 1, I already have nearly 1 million Slayer experience. My goal is to get like 25 million, 30 million Slayer from the series. And if I did boss tasks, it'd be considerably lower. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And as you can see, also, it took 7 hours. I calculated everything like that. It's about 100k an hour. I'm averaging that. I'm not the best Slayer ever. So that is really nice that I'm doing it like that. And as you can see, I skipped twice. I'm counting those. And my points, I'm counting those as well. And my deaths. So hopefully those numbers will be really high other than the deaths. I'm just hoping the deaths will be very, very low by the end of the series. But it'll be funny to see how many I actually die at the end. So for the drops, here are my charms. The first thing to look at. The Crimsons obviously are the highest. It might change later in the series, but it looks like Crims will probably always be the highest. Because like Water Fiends and Abbey Demons and those kind of things. I mean, I hope Blue does catch up, because blue charms I like more than crimsons, obviously, but you really never know what's going to happen. So yeah, as for the drops itself, I have a lot of different drops on the page, and as you can see, I have the 3 level 90 tier gloves, and you can get them from like the Celestial Dragons, the Ascension members, and the Irets, and hopefully I can get maybe 1 or 2 of them from the entire series. It'd be kind of cool. They aren't worth that much anymore, but it'd be great to get them, just to get them. I haven't gotten the Celestial hand wraps nor the Ascension grips either since they came out, so it'd be cool to get. So yeah, nothing really has changed on this from the zeros except the ferocious rings, and then obviously the key halves. Maybe in 5-10 episodes this will be a bunch of numbers. We never really know, but we're just gonna have to keep on doing Slayer to find out. Now that you've seen the gist of episode 1, let's go into the price check and see how much I've actually made from 7 hours of Slayer. So guys, here's my Slayer tab for episode 1. And every episode, if I didn't say earlier, is 15 tasks. So hopefully this tab builds up pretty damn nicely throughout this series. And to price check everything, I will have to do multiple trade screens because You just cannot have everything in the same inventory. So it'll probably be 3 price checks, 3 to 4 price checks, depending on how many items I have. I think this episode will be max of like 3, but we're gonna have to see for later episodes because I might get more and more items. So I mean, look at my inventory right now. Like I have Addy ore. It's not organized. I mean, I could have organized it, but it just was like that. And if you can see, also you get a lot of key halves, so those add up to a lot of money too. So yeah, a lot of these items just add up from various tasks. And another thing, those Addy bars, I do get tons from my Aviancy tasks, and I'll get a lot of money from just the Addy bars throughout this series. So yeah, I mean, Aviancy tasks aren't that bad. The experience is actually very terrible. The time it takes per task isn't too bad. But I mean, the Addy bars do add up. So I mean, it isn't too bad of a task if you don't want to do Arma. Let's just price check. I won't keep you guys waiting. And let's just see what inventory 1 is for the money. So the first inventory of the Slayer tab is 4.7 mil. Let's just round it to 4.7 mil. And that is my first inventory. Let me grab my second inventory and I'll show you guys the drops. So yeah, guys, here's the second inventory, and it's my seeds and my herbs for the most of the drops, and the blood runes as well. That's like 2k. So I mean, that's a good 600k in blood runes. And those also are the dragon plate legs that I got from the steel dragon task. So this inventory should be pretty good then. So let's price check. So this one is just 2.2 mil, let's say, because there was a little bit of change on the last one. So let's say this is 2.2 mil. That isn't too bad for what I put in here. It wasn't that much that I put in here. So yeah, I think we can go to the next inventory. I think the next one is the last one. So let's see what the tab actually gets up to. Alright, so here's the last inventory, and this is the juggernaut of the tab, because as you can see, here are my infernal ashes from my Abbey Demon task, all my dragon bones from all my dragons, the 2 Irit tasks worth of bones, and my wyvern bones. So everything does add up really nicely. Rune armor as well. So this is the best tab in the price checks. Hopefully I can pass the 15 mil mark. That is my goal for this episode 1. So that would be about 1 mil per task if I did that. Let's price check and see what it is. So this tab only is about 7.4 mil. Let's just say 7.4. I was expecting about 6 mil for this. And I forgot to mention these coins that I'm showing you right now. I forgot to mention that these are just straight coin drops. So like if an Irit or an Abbey Demon drops coins, I count that into my tab as well because I pick them up. I'm kind of a hoarder on like every drop. I pick up everything, and it might be a waste for me to pick up them. But honestly, I don't really care. It's fun for me. So 7.4 mil for that. Let me add up everything and see what my final tab is worth for episode 1. So I added everything up, and it looks like my tab is at 14.3 mil. So that means it's a little less than 1 mil per task. So sadly, I didn't reach the 1 mil per task because I was thinking I would, because Celestial Dragons and Irits are both like almost 3 mil per task, depending on how many you get. So that was kind of disappointing a little bit, but I'm still making decent progress for the series in just episode 1. This shows this will be a long-ass series, considering I'm not doing boss tasks, and it'll be a straight Slayer. So hopefully I can hit more Irit tasks and maybe Abbey Demon tasks. Those would be really good tasks for these, for the price checks and stuff like that. Like 1 Irit task could be 3 mil, and if I get, you know, a glove drop, that's even more. Same with Abbey Demons if I get whips or wands or orbs. Here's to a better episode in episode 2. Let's just hope that I get better tasks, but we'll just have to see how everything goes. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of this brand new series of mine, and I hope I can actually go through with it and actually finish the series, because it is a lot of determination and stuff like that, because you guys saw how much Slayer I got in just 1 episode, so that is a lot of slaying I did and the time it took. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.